Ladies and gents, this is episode 63. If you've been here with the podcast, you know this man. He is now on the leaderboard of people that have been returning guests. I think you're number 4?
Fourth time now?
Yes,
because
Jarryd
last time I came, I was equal with David Hughes.
Yeah, I think you're now to pole position. I don't know if I said your name. Jarryd Goundrey, ladies and gentlemen. Jarryd Goundrey. It's not all fucking video for the people out there. He's back.
I saw David Hughes in Brisbane, actually.
Oh, yes.
First time I've seen him outside of Perth.
Yes.
You know, you think some people just exist in certain locations.
Yep.
I actually saw him like in the wild.
Yeah.
And it was good. I felt like it enhanced the experience for both of us.
Yeah, so you were like, you're just you're a regular human. You do non-Perth things. I don't know what that is.
You ever seen comedian in the wild, like actually in the shops or anything? Or someone you've gigged
No,
with,
because
they don't fucking exist.
Because they stare at the ground and they just hobble around.
They just spawn into gigs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, what do you do for work? I was like, I don't want to talk about it.
If you see one at a workplace, I saw this comedian working at a juice bar once.
Oh, really?
And a bit of a crusher, but automatically you see them and you're like, oh, this guy's shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's there being all nice to customers and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah, and you're a savage on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like that thing where sort of you see people talk about their work and they're like always demeaning, I fucking hate customers, this and that, and then you have to see them be like, thank you very much, enjoy. Would you like an extra
fraud?
fork? Yeah.
You are a fraud.
You talk a big game. You have been in Northern Queensland?
So
Queensland?
I went on the pretty much the New South Wales Queensland leg of touring.
Yep.
So I left Melbourne on the 29th of October. I went to Albury Wodonga. Then I went to Goulburn. Then I spent a week in Sydney doing the Comedy Store run, which was fucking incredible, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Then drove to Wollongong, then all the way to North Queensland, Townsville, Cairns, then in Brisbane for a week, and then down sort of like the Sunshine Coast back to Melbourne. Did 6,500 kilometres in 4 weeks in the car.
How did the car hold up?
Good.
Good? Okay, sweet.
Held up nicely. It was nice being on the road.
Yeah. So what's the idea when you on the road? Is it like you're thinking about this didn't work last night, I gotta fucking change this? It must be like, do you go through your shit?
Yeah, you feel on.
Yeah.
It's extremely tiring because I guess your brain's working a lot.
Yeah.
Not only are you going, how was the previous night? You're like, how is this night going to go? Where's my marketing at with it? But then there's a lot of like self sort of speculation of being like, okay, well, what's the next moves for the next few years? Like, this thing's going well. Do I want to expand this out? I want to achieve this. Do I need to reverse engineer some stuff? Like, you're just kind of shadow boxing your career.
Yeah.
In certain ways. I had my partner Hannah there. So I'm going, what about this? And she's like, yeah, but what about this? A lot of that sort of like to and fro sort of planning.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's fun. It feels like you're doing it though.
Yeah, for sure. I think, as I said last time, you're one of the only people I really know who are like just fucking doing it.
Yeah, and it's starting to work.
Yeah. You were saying off air, you had some PBs gig wise, like numbers.
Biggest numbers in a week, and then have made the most money I'd ever made from comedy in a week by quite a large factor, and it gave me the. Is it like faith? I don't know. Like it was like validation, maybe.
Yeah. This is a viable option.
Because I'm gonna lie to you. Probably 2 months before I was going on tour.
Yeah.
When it was all in the calendar.
Yeah. You're like,
I was, dude. There was a moment where I was like, this can fail pretty fucking fantastically.
Yeah.
Like financially as well.
Yes.
Not even just like, like you don't have to announce that you're not doing it.
Yeah.
You don't have to announce that you're not doing it anymore. But you know.
You're still paying the bank.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And there was a few moments when, I guess once the novelty and the enthusiasm wore off of booking it.
Yeah.
When it was just like, it's go time. When I was pretty worried, actually. I was like, that self-doubt that we all have kind of crept in.
Can I do this?
Well, I was like, am I going to do this? Not can. I knew I could. But it wasn't the would. It was like, would people come?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I would be the same level of comedian anyway, but like, is it working?
Yeah. But I think with it working, and it's been successful as far as I know, that it is making you a better comic though, because you now can believe. Yeah,
totally.
like there's now, it's like, I have actual analytics and money in my bank account to say I can do this, and now let's step up our game.
Yeah. And the money really is only just paying for it to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not at the point yet where I'm like, well, where are we going on holiday? Like that's
Yeah.
not how it works
Yeah.
at this level of the game. But
It's like we can get Uber Eats tonight if we want.
it's like more likely it's like, well, we can go to another few cities and do more comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, where are we putting the comedy money into more comedy? Like it's just
It's
just
forever investing back into it, isn't it?
I think it's going to take a long time for the mouth to eat the tail. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But then again, like, where does that stop? Like, do you keep doing it and then you go, well, fuck, now we're going to America, but we're going to need 60 grand. Like,
Yeah.
does that go forever? I'm not sure. But I guess it gives you the validation to go, like, we're not. It's hard to tell if you're fucking shit.
Yeah, especially in comedy.
'Cause,
No
like,
one really ever says to you, hey, mate, fucking stop.
no one said it to me, but then I've never said it to people that I think that should.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, no one says it.
So I no joke, had this little bit before I went on tour, and I had a little mini freak out, and I was like, I got to do this thing that I got to start writing. I've written a lot of checks.
Yes.
Geez, I hope they cash. And I had a fucking shower, and then in the shower I had a panic attack,
Oh,
and I was like, are you shit?
like you weren't having a bath.
I was like, this is what I said to myself. I said, am I shit? Because I've seen other people
Yeah.
who are shit go, I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm like, oh, good luck with that.
Yeah.
And I for like about 25 minutes I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I was like, am I just caught up in this thing so much, dreaming and
Drinking your own bathwater.
visualizing? Fuck yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was shit, and I was like, I had to reassure like myself, and I knew in that moment I could have gone to my parents, or I could have gone to my family, or I could have gone to my partner, and they would have been like, you're not shit. But I had to figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of like put my phone away for a bit, went for a walk, and I was like, I don't think I'm shit. And it was like this collapse moment before I had to go and do it. I don't know if that's normal.
I assume it has to be. I think I've chatted to, like, going back to David Hughes, like, I've chatted to him multiple times about, like, bombing. Mm-hmm. And then if he's had a bad gig, I've had a bad gig. You know, it's few and far fucking for him. But me, on the other hand, I was like, yeah, it hurts. And he was like, that's a good thing. It's like you see people that rock up the next night like nothing happened, didn't change a single fucking thing, and then they bomb again. It's like, if it hurts, there's a reason, because you're like, oh, I can do this, or I'm not used to this.
They don't know they're bombing sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like that
insane.
It's that phantom laugh syndrome, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
some people come off stage, and I was there, and they went, yeah, that went all right. I'm like, we weren't watching the same gig.
Yeah. Are you fucking in a different plane, in a different dimension, mate? Like, what the fuck happened?
And I was worried for a split second if I was that guy,
Yeah.
because they don't know.
Yeah. But you were already getting, like, a lot of paid gigs, traveling, doing shows, getting decent rooms. Like, surely the catalyst for sort of knowing how you're going is sort of the rooms, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I hope so. I mean, it helps that I'm white and a guy,
Yeah.
in a way,
Yeah, okay.
because like
Keep
the
going.
fact that
I can edit this out if I
no. The fact that I'm a straight white man means that I don't get any gigs
True. So
for
It's hard for
any
us.
other reason.
It's hard for us.
It's hard out there, guys. If you're listening out there and you're a straight white man, just know that we hear you.
Yeah.
We know what you're going through.
From my air-conditioned studio that I have in my home.
So, I mean, that's been nice to be like, well, this has to be for my jokes
Yes,
and
yeah.
my performance.
And you also do and started doing stand-up in Melbourne, where there is 8 billion other cunts who want gigs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to actually fight your way to the top of the heap.
So that's been nice. I mean, not saying that if I was an Indian woman, I would take the gigs as well. Still, like I think you should.
Yeah.
I think you should just take every advantage that you can in this business, because
I
this
think
business
100%.
is hard.
Yes. If you've got a leg up or some sort of someone to vouch for you, why don't you fucking your dad's fucking Carl Barron, whatever.
Take it, bro.
Yeah, like you won't get those opportunities anywhere else.
100%. So that's been, I guess, in the process of me being like, am I shit?
Yeah.
I had that was one of the things I went to. I was like, well, you're doing, and it's just because you don't have anything else. You know, you're not getting booked in comedy clubs to MC them because you're a minority.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
because you've got some angle or whatever. Like
There's no box ticked.
I've got no.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, I would be bumped off some lineups just to be like, well, we can get rid of him because he looks like everyone.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that's nice for me.
You are a white dog. That is what this episode's going to be called.
What? Can we?
Yeah, Jarryd the white dog. It was going to be Jarryd, I'm good enough, Goundrey.
Oh, what a white dog.
Yeah. But I mean, so you're obviously doing those gigs. You've done 6,000 kilometers. How many hours are you keeping track of like analytics for your own personal? Like, could you tell me roughly numbers on fucking, not now, but do you have somewhere in a little book that in a year's time you can be like, actually, I did, let's call it 50 shows and I had roughly an audience of X amount of paying customers. Like, can you backtrack and actually see how you've improved?
I do, but I'm not
analytics-wise?
only for tax reasons.
Yeah, okay.
I
yeah.
haven't. I don't have anything for my own.
Yeah, okay.
thing,
So it's just purely
Which
because of.
some people actually, as a comedian, so I don't record any sets I do,
Really?
and I don't listen back to them
Wow.
because I think how you went is exactly how you went.
Yeah,
and
okay.
if you can't identify that in the moment,
What about new material?
nah, I know how it feels.
Yeah, okay.
And I know if it worked or not.
Yeah.
I don't need to. This is just something personal thing for me. I guess a lot of comedians will listen to this and just scream and be like, "You fucking idiot!" Like, but this is what works for me.
Yeah.
And I think you should lean in for what works for you always. But I know exactly how everything went all the time because I'm there and I'm
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
If I have to bomb and then listen back to something, and go, "Oh no, actually it did go," or you didn't, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You talked yourself into doing better than you did because you know exactly how it went. As soon as you put that mic in the mic stand and you walk off, you go, "Ugh," or you go, "Yeah." Like, you know how it went.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah.
Don't fucking lie to yourself later
fucking do it.
with more data. Like,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
like, I just try
There
to,
actually was laughs there.
I just try and follow the feeling.
Yes.
And I don't need to watch it back and see where the laughs were, because if something happened, and sometimes I add little tags online, on stage, sorry. And if I don't remember them 2 days later, then it's
Wasn't good
not
enough.
worth it, man.
Yeah, okay.
So that's just my personal approach.
Yeah.
But I only record things for tax reason. I don't record anything for like my own little analytics or anything like that.
Yeah,
I just try and stay completely in the moment with it. But I do keep track, and I remember. I've got a good memory,
Yeah.
so I know how many people I did in each place.
Yeah, okay.
Just if you just ask me, I go, "Yep, that was this many people," almost to the person.
Mm.
And I don't know if by not recording anything or writing that down in any way has enhanced that muscle as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But that's just
Maybe an army thing as well. Because
Maybe.
obviously you have to be two jobs that you've had before, for the people who might be the first time you're hearing Jarryd's lovely voice, but he was in the army for what, 8 years? Infantry?
7, yeah.
Yep, let's call it 8. And and the other one, you were a chef.
Or 7 years as well.
Yeah, let's call it 8.
Yeah, I've been done 2 things for 8 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. So those 2 things are time heavy, you know.
Yeah,
Cooking
a lot of
food,
them are
you gotta know.
feeling heavy as well. Like as a chef, like you have recipes, but a lot of the time it's just you're just
salt
going
and
on
all that,
instinct,
yeah.
right?
Tasting it.
And adjusting along the road. Maybe that I've never thought about it to be honest at all.
Hey, you're here to learn, mate. That's
Maybe maybe that's it. But I had a bit of it was a pride moment for myself doing this tour, because look, some places I did 35, 40 people, some places I did 120, 180, 90, all that sort of stuff. But
Good numbers.
I was looking back at some goals that I'd written down when I was first starting.
Yes.
And when I was about 18 months in, when I think I'd decided to do this as a proper life thing.
Yeah.
I'd written down, if I could perform to 50 people anywhere Australia-wide, I would be happy forever.
Yep.
So I think I'm nearly at the cusp of probably hitting that goal for that, Jarryd,
Yes.
which is an exciting thing to do.
You have to have those milestones.
I thought that would, and it's nice that I'm still hungry.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like nowhere near satiated, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So
you're a whore.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
unashamedly.
Yeah.
I love doing this so much.
Yeah.
And as the crowd has got bigger, a couple of gigs were big,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Like, I need this.
What does this feel at 200?
Yeah,
What does this feel at 300? You know, what does this feel in stadium level?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think I'll ever get a stadium, but I can scalable. I can understand how that would feel.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. So it's a nice spot to be in. Like, I guess hitting a goal and then trying to find the next one it's a good spot for me.
You have to have those goals. You have to have attainable goals. That's what I've always said to people in stand-up, and then I do hardly fucking any, so don't listen to me. But, like, it's just little things that I said to my mates who we were all sort of at the same level when I was in WA, and it was like, we should just try and MC this year, like, or in the next 6 months. That should be a goal. It should be fucking end a bracket. Do get a gig where you're doing 15 minutes. Get 5 paid gigs. Like, attainable goals. Whereas some people are like, yeah, I want to headline by the end of the year. It's like, it's not going to happen.
And you will be so upset and bitter
yeah.
because you just don't have any fucking... Have that goal.
Yeah.
Push it out by 6 times longer than you think it was.
Yep.
Break down the 5 associated goals that go with it, and then go for that.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. Like, you just got to figure out.
It's true.
Because if you look at, like, let's say you go, I want a headline by the end of the year. You go, what comes into headlining? Okay. Usually it's the minutes first.
Yep.
You have 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 to 40 most of the time, right? And then you go, cool. That should be my first goal, is like develop the product.
Yeah.
The second thing to going into headlining is, can I put bums on seats?
Yep.
So then you got to figure out from that goal what goes into doing that. You need to do marketing. You need to do all of these sort of things. You might need to figure out that by headlining actually means you need to sign up online for a small business / marketing course. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It might mean I need to do a graphic design Canva course.
Yeah.
And like looking at that goes, well, how does that equal headlining? It's like, well, because it equals your goal a little bit down the line, which is putting bums on seats. Because I know people that can headline that aren't that great, but they can fill joints up because they have online personas and all that sort of stuff. So maybe your goal isn't exactly what you think it is. And just by sitting there manifesting and visualizing what you could be isn't going to be enough. You need to be able to go on and get the associated skills in between. You're not going from A to B, you're going from A to Z, and you've got to figure out what's at T.
Yeah.
And sometimes each one of those letters has another A to Z in it.
It's like, can I get through a panic attack in the shower?
Dude, if that's stopping you from getting anywhere in it, then yeah, that's something you need to address.
Yeah.
But then I always want to big you up for a little bit. You're just sitting there being like, I say all these things and I don't do this fuck all. It's like, dude, we're sitting right now in a studio in your house that you've made.
Man, great.
Those things
Stand up wise, not doing much.
Yeah, but then like what happens if this thing blows up and then people are asking you to do stand up? They're like, when's the next show? Like,
yeah,
you got to be happy with...
Things are working in the right direction, some parts. I would like to do more stand-up.
This is what I found out being on the road, right? It was tough and it was hard. Like, the shows were great, but everything in between was difficult. Like, I was like running on fumes a lot of the time. We've got to get to the next one. It wasn't like this montage of, and then I went there and I did this and there was music playing. Like, dude, I was fucking working hard. 20-hour days sometimes.
Yeah.
And you need to take those wins.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because you got to be proud of yourself.
It's true.
Getting anywhere in anything that you want to do, celebrate those wins along the way. Like, a footy team should should celebrate every win. Just because they didn't win the grand final this year, they're like building towards something, right? But you still have your beer and
improvements.
Have your beer, enjoy, sit down with your teammates or whoever's come along the journey and just be like, we've done it.
Yeah.
Yes, next week's another game, but like enjoy those wins because
it's the small moments.
Because you'll get fucking flogged every now and then.
Yeah. Pains are coming.
Yeah, and that's where all the learnings are.
Yeah.
But you can't just be like, all right, we had a good gig tonight. Where's the things I can improve? It's like sometimes you just got to take that win as well for your like self-esteem and for your mental health and for your pride. Yeah. It's a pretty proud thing. So I think you should be proud of what you're doing.
I am number one. The podcast name is changed to episode 63. I am number one, featuring Jarryd Goundrey. But the other things I just wanted to touch on too. What are the things I'm always interested in? What you learnt that you didn't think was going to be an issue and something. I remember last time we did the pod, you were like, "Yeah, fucking art centers always ripping my dick off with." And fucking, they did, like shit like that. Like what happened in this one? What was the
personal public liaison with owners that I put public in there? I didn't need to. Personal liaison with venue owners.
Okay.
So I book in a gig.
Yep.
I'm starting to learn. I need to check in with the people.
Yeah.
Because I was running the tickets for most things, which is the way I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anyone nibbling at my stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck
You know
off.
exactly what you have.
Yeah, and if they come, then I have access to like their email and like I just want to
Yes.
control things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in my control does create sometimes 5 times more work
Yeah.
than I have. But if the venue was running the show, they would have real time access to like things like ticket numbers,
Yeah.
and they
okay.
can adjust on their end what they can do.
Yes.
Whereas I guess I'm doing that, and at one stage I had like 12 shows on the go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot of information,
Yeah, fucking oath.
and things did fall through the cracks.
Yep.
And the venues just didn't know what was happening. So then you get 10 days out and they go, hey, can we get an update on tickets? And you go, oh, we've got 12, which to I was fine with. I know they come in last minute, but they're like, we got to step up on this.
Yeah.
And I just wish I'd checked in with all of them on a weekly basis. Like maybe on a Monday, I spend 3 hours just going, hey, Dave, this is where
Yes.
we're at with it. Do you reckon, is there anything we could do? And he
Yeah.
might go, I'm going to put a post in the local community group.
Yep.
Because once I'd talked to them, they did stuff like
They
that.
get proactive, yeah. So it helps you.
Yeah, right. So maybe it just like a bit of reassuring and all that sort of stuff. Like I was happy. I'd done so many gigs now that I knew if 12 tickets 2 weeks out would probably equal 60 people.
Oh.
But the venue, sometimes it's their first gig.
Yeah, so they're like...
So they're freaking the fuck out. They're like,
First rodeo.
They're like, it's not sold out yet. But that's the difference between my emotional sort of connection with the situation and theirs.
Yeah, okay.
And I had learnt probably too late to smooth that over with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like, it should be fine. But they're like, how much staff do I need? And I'm like, don't worry about
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So then they would have been able to do things and get onto it earlier and it would have created more sales.
Yes.
Even though I was happy where the sales were going to be, maybe the sales would have been bigger.
Yeah, yeah,
And
true.
that's just something that I just learned from a couple of them freaking out. And
Yeah,
now I'm
yeah.
like, oh, now I've got this situation. So then I guess now that when you look at the situation, it's like, well, how can I manage this before it gets to here?
Yeah, okay.
So that's just stuff I had to learn
So,
along the way.
yeah, it's just more admin.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Secondly, I put on my first staff member. I hired my first person to work for me,
Yes.
which was like a public relations person to get me into newspapers, radio stations,
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. I paid them by the hour,
Yeah, yeah.
and it has probably times how much PR I'm doing by 10.
Yeah, I saw you were doing like radio shows and shit.
Yeah. And that was
Yeah,
all
yeah.
through, I used to do that myself.
Yeah. But if you were
And-
driving and doing this and...
Didn't have the time.
Yeah.
But by hiring someone and putting them on,
Yeah.
someone who is coming up through that, they're not like, I'm an established person. They're like, I'd like to do this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, well, cool, I can afford you.
Yeah, because, yeah, you're not a pro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they were great. And then having that third party on the thing. So I always find like, when I'm sending an email to a radio station, I'm like, hi, I'm doing this thing. It'd be great if you could.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what this girl said? I've got this person. Do you want this opportunity?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the calendar's
Selling
filling up.
someone, not just, I'm a person that's
Jumped
going to
at
be
it.
advantageous just for me.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the amount of money that I spent. So essentially, I would employ her. She was $30 an hour, and I would buy 10 hours at a time.
Yep.
So I send $300. She invoices me $300.
Yep.
I've got a person. She was like, "Hey, I've done 4.5 hours on this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 opportunities. Which ones do you want to take?" I'm like, every single one. They go, "Cool. Give me access to your calendar. I'll start scheduling appointments and interviews."
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, "Yep, cool." I think would have made probably for $300 investment. I think would have made $1,000 to $1,200 worth of ticket sales on the other side.
Oh, really?
So therefore, just looking at that metric
It's well worth it.
and that area of my business, I'm pretty bad at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not naturally that good at selling myself.
Yeah.
I can do it for my own sort of channels, but by actually going to sort of commercial areas,
Yeah.
I didn't have that skill and I wasn't really good at it.
Yeah.
And by just offshooting it, it has been really great. So I guess moving forward is now looking at different things about if I can give someone $500 and they can make me $1,000,
Yeah, it's worth it.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So what other avenues does that look at? Do I then need to look at people that will just book the shows for me?
Yeah.
Will
yeah.
talk to those venues for me?
Yeah,
like-
you're just a gun for hire. Just got to get to the gigs.
Yeah, but I guess it's then you just got to make more money to then push it down. And any other business would operate that way.
Yeah.
Artists seem to be, they want to do things differently than the way that any other structured business would do it. They're like, we need marketing, we need accountants, we're just like, we'll do it all.
Yeah.
And freak out.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to look at myself more
forget
as a
stuff.
startup.
Yep. You're a business.
Yeah.
You are the small business.
Well, I've got the product.
Yeah.
So now I just need to, if I'm growing, then I need to put more people on and work as myself then eventually I'll just become the CEO of the jokes.
Yeah.
Because that's the reverse way. That's, I believe, how agencies work. So they're like, you've got the product, we'll pay for everything up the top and then we'll give you what's left. I'm trying to reverse that and be like, I'll take all the money and then I'll outsource it on the way down.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'll put you all on contract. And if anyone stops working, then I'll just replace that element in the business. And then I'm the boss. Whereas I think agencies, then you'll be like emailing them, hey, you got any work in?
Yeah.
Then I'll just focus on getting the work.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So you were just talking about like generally outsourcing stuff and looking at yourself as a business instead of like, you're the one-man band.
You totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you want to scale, if I can't scale on my own,
Yeah.
one thing's going to happen. The product's going to drop.
Yep.
I'm going to drop, i.e. I'll burn out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only option, right? You're not going to grow. Like you might grow for a bit and then you'll retract.
I think you'll lose like, what is it, like the love for it as well. If you're like, it's just too much fucking effort.
Exactly.
If you have, and as we know about comedy and stuff, if you have X amount of bad gigs and everyone's different, it's pretty quick to be like, nah, fuck this. Like, I'm done. Whether it's
absolutely
someone can do it for 3 years and have no fucking laughs, but, a lot of us are like 3 bad ones in a row. It's just like, I don't think I'm cut out for this.
And hopefully, I'll tell you a sentence that makes no sense and then I'll try to explain it. Hopefully I make no money forever. Okay? So.
And now he explains it.
Let's say I times my revenue by 2 next year.
Yep.
So I make twice as much money coming in. Hopefully, I can make the same amount of money as in how much I make, and I just put people on.
Yeah, okay.
So then hopefully to the point 3 years down the line, I have a videographer.
Yes.
And I still make my shit wage. But now everybody does everything for me. And then I can make really cool content. And then I can make really fun things. And then after like a few years of just like building the team out behind you, like you go boom. And then you just make the fucking 10x 1 year.
Yeah.
And that's your money.
Yes.
And then you just maintain that forever.
Yeah.
So, because that's how cafes, and I know you use this because I've worked in them, that's how they work.
Yeah.
So they're like, let's get the team in place. They don't make any money for like 5-6 years. But then they do. And then once they do, they're very good because everything's settled and they've got all the development in place and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to try and stay as poor for as long as I can and just increase my capability.
Yeah.
Because once the capability is set, I can take advantage of it.
Yeah, okay.
That's my goal.
That makes
Because
sense.
it's like, do you want 1 marshmallow now or 2 later? Right? You ever heard that test with a kid? So they put one marshmallow in front of the kid. They're like, you can have this now or you can wait and then tomorrow we'll give you 2. They always take the 1 because they're fucking immature.
I take the 1 as well, but
I'm like, I want to get fucking 70 down the line.
Yeah.
So put more people on. That's going to be my goal. And then just bring everyone along with you.
Yeah, which is cool. Like you build up this, and you can also like, it's probably easy as we were talking about drinking your own fucking bathwater to like, you get this group of people who know you and they're like, hey, Jarryd, maybe you do this, you've got a bit of input and people you respect and stuff instead of yes men. You can have people to be like, yeah, it makes life a little bit easier, but obviously it'd be pretty cool to like have a little team as well.
Well, I think you want to pick and choose those people, right? Because if you're not in control of it, there's 2 types of people in this world, right? There's people that want to raise everyone up.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge believer of this. I think the high tide raises all ships. And it doesn't have to be like comedians that you start with or do things with can go off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
And then like you just help each other out along the way, even if it's with advice. I've done this. These are the mistakes I've made.
Yeah, yeah.
Here you go. So you don't make the same thing.
Yes.
Now you go make your mistakes and you tell me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then everyone's better.
Yes.
And then the other people in life are the ones that want to bring everyone down to them. I think if you're in control of building your own team, then everybody gets raised up because you get people and you go, hey, this person's doing really good stuff in this area.
Yeah.
How about let's work together?
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
this person's got a videography agency. They've just started and I know they're cool. Hey, do you guys want to do some stuff together? I'll make sure I put your tag on everything I do.
Yeah.
And they're like, great, cool. Things pop off. All of a sudden they've got this work.
They feed each other.
And you just keep feeding one another.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I mean, the world would be a bit more beautiful place if that's how everyone worked. But I think the other way around is if like you're waiting for a handout from like the top,
Yeah.
those people have just got jobs.
Yeah.
And they don't care about it at all. That's what I think. I think Luke Kidgell's probably crushed this thing as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how his business works, but I think he employs all his friends and his family sometimes.
Yeah. So
His partner and stuff. And they've all got invested interests that it all wins.
Yeah, and they're all, if you're working with your friends and this, you want to see that person succeed.
Totally.
You know, how many jobs have you had when you're just like, I fucking hate this and I don't care if the boss doesn't make any money. I'm only being here because they pay me a wage, which is majority of people, I think.
Dude, I worked in places where I've actively stolen things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm like, no, fuck him.
Yeah, yeah.
He can afford it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He doesn't need this shit.
At all. So
Yeah.
I think that's the way forward, and all the good people in it, you know, like people like yourself, you know, like when we're chatting at the moment, we're like, we've got some ideas to like, I'm like, I like what you do. I respect that. I have a thing that I do. Let's fucking jerk each other off.
Yeah.
People like the David Hugheses of the world, it's like you generally want to see good people get good things in their life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like those are the people that you want to grab onto because this industry is too hard to do on your own.
It's pretty insane, yeah. It's so like...
And it'd just be fucking lonely.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. It is a weird, lonely little... People have like reached out to me, which is cool, and asked about like, hey, how do I do this? And I'm like, fucking... And I'll just write paragraphs.
Yeah.
I love it. Because I'm like, someone did that for me at the start. Like I had some mates in Bendigo and they fucking helped me with the Flow... the Flow State podcast, which I don't think they're no longer, but Broden and Cody, and they just fucking were like, yeah, fuck, you got to do this and that and that. And there's things that they did that I loved, and then also there was things that they did that I didn't like and just didn't do that. And then there's probably things that I've done that they haven't liked, but it was one of those ones that they took their time to be like, this is how you do it, because I had no fucking idea. No idea. And then over the 3 years, I've slowly picked up little things. Yeah, we were talking about fucking boom arms and all that type of shit. It's little things that I'm like, yeah, I'll put a little bit of money into this and a little bit of money into that. And now I've got fucking, essentially this was my brother's room a week ago, and, you know, old mate fuckwit housemate moved out. So
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. And now I've taken on more money to come out of my bank account because I want a studio in my house.
Yep.
So I've had to go source a new job and stuff like that. And it all, you have to make sacrifices, but it is nice for other people to help you as well.
It's not a sacrifice, it's an investment.
Yeah.
Right? So artists, podcasters, musicians, all of these people, we are like the only people who start a business without a capital, as in without a loan.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do any other business? You want to open a cafe? You want to open a glazier fucking glass fucking business? You want to sell something in a store? You go to a bank.
Yeah.
And you get money. And then you put that money into your thing, hoping that you can make enough to service your loan and then make some on top.
Yeah.
We always think that we got to like just do it and then hopefully we can make some money and then we can put the money back into the thing. It's like if you've got some cash and you've got something you want to do, you would be fucking stupid not to, because that is the investment. Like, hell, go get a loan, man. I wish I got a fucking loan. I'd love to get a loan. I'd put fucking 50 grand into like comedy. It'd be so good.
Yeah.
I'd make it back.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, can you? Like, realistic, like, I know you can make it back, but how hard is it to get a loan for a small business?
I actually wish I'd stayed having a job so I could get a loan.
Yeah.
But look, well, think about this, right? You get 50 grand
Yep.
from a bank
Yep.
over, what, 7 years?
Yep.
So then the service on that loan is like 140, 180 bucks a fortnight, whatever. Can you make more than that?
Yeah.
Then you can service your loan.
Yeah. But I just more mean, does a bank, will they give out the loan?
Oh, 100% not.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Of course not. Because they look at this and go, no.
Yeah.
Actually,
Show me
because
the
I went
tangible fucking.
because I went to get a loan
Yes.
for my tour,
Yep.
and they said nah, because it doesn't make any sense. And I went,
Yeah.
well, fuck you. I'll fund the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I said I fuck you, but then they didn't hear that.
Yeah.
But that was my own personal thing. But that's just my point on like investing in what you need to do. Like it's just.
Well, we invest.
Anyway.
This is my thing too. I've invested a lot of time into the podcast, and hang on, sorry. Clearly, I was making a great point about something, but then got a phone call, and I had to resign from my job. So
How'd it go?
it went well. As I was saying, that it's the first time that an employer has been like, "What can we do to keep you at the company?"
Are you a good worker?
With this job, I have been.
Yeah,
With
nice.
other ones, horrible. Like you were saying, you've actively stolen and stuff. I was like, that's all.
When I was a kid, I worked at McDonald's. It was like the first job I had.
Yeah,
I fucking
yeah.
loved it. And I worked there with my mate Kyle, and we worked with this other dweeb that we didn't like. This story is getting to being about bad employee. And one of us cooked up this plan, and I'm not going to say who did it, but like one of us went to the toilet
Yeah.
and just pooed on the floor. And because we were like the shift managers, we went back. We went back and we're like, dude, someone's shit on the floor. I know this sucks, but we've all done it, and it's your turn you got to clean the poo up on the floor. And we just watched him clean our poo.
That is one hell of a power play. Man. Like, that's genuinely like.
I mean, do I feel bad about? I mean, dude, this is 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Chill
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I was
What do you reckon that person's up to these days?
hopefully
CEO.
traumatized about poo.
Yeah.
But then also has done like hopefully they're a big CEO, big power move, like trying to maybe a police officer trying to get that power back.
Yes.
And
they're a pedophile. No.
and I can't take if they're a pedophile.
Okay.
I cannot take responsibility for that.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
how that works. There's not a cycle of violence.
Yeah.
You're still a pedophile.
Yeah. No, you didn't make that person a pedophile.
I didn't make them a pedophile.
No.
Didn't help,
Yeah.
but didn't make. So.
I mean, it was close to breaking the straw that broke the camel's back, but it didn't push him over the edge.
Get a stronger back.
Yeah.
Don't
You pedophile. No.
don't let poos throw you into a world of pedophilia.
Yeah. It's true. I cannot remember where we're up to. We were chatting about obviously, like, just pushing through fucking.
Totally.
I honestly can't remember where we're at.
Last point I want to make before we wrap this up, and we were talking about people asking each other for advice and helping good people out and all that
Yes.
sort of stuff. Some random comedian, I mean, I know who
memory.
they are.
Good memory.
Thank you. Some random comedian, I know who they are, obviously, but messaged me the other day and said, "Oh, I like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do what you're doing?" I
you
spent
write that? Be
like I spent like same thing, couple of paragraphs,
Yeah.
just like boom, 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 laid out the whole system essentially. And I'm not doing anything by touring myself that I haven't invented anything.
No.
Essentially, my method is I just go places and do comedy,
Yep.
and I just do some marketing. Like it's straightforward, and I laid out how driving and where you got to go and how to find places and all that sort of stuff. I spent like a good 25, 30 minutes on it. And then they messaged back and they were like, "Poor, that sounds like too much work." And in that moment, I wasn't angry, but I was like, "You can fuck off with your dream then."
Yeah.
Because I don't have another talent that anyone else does.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the stuff. And if the stuff is too much, enjoy failing.
Yeah.
That's
It's such a funny thing of like even asking for help and then someone be like, actually, it's.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, you're just like, cunt, what did you think was going to happen?
Well, I think everybody wants
Name and shame. Name it. No.
No, everybody wants a shortcut.
Yes, for
And
sure.
there just doesn't any. There's no shortcuts in this.
No.
There's no shortcuts in anything, to be honest. I mean, you might be able to.
Especially this.
You might be able to shortcut to one thing. You know, you might be able to make a video by accident that does something and then goes somewhere else. But 99.9% of it's just kind of hooking in and putting in the effort and whatever
Yeah.
you're doing now, getting it better each time. Like I'm at the point of my social media video making journey that like I'm getting reminders of the early stuff because it has on this day
Yeah.
features. And I look at it and I go, whoa, dude, that is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
Yes.
Because people were jumping on a little bit at a time from that.
Yep.
Like my following didn't happen overnight. It was just kind of built
Yeah.
a little bit. So I look forward to what I'm doing now to look back on and be upset because it's got that much better.
Yes.
And I guess if you're not willing to do that effort, then you don't get the dream, right?
No. You literally that's the only thing consistent is effort in any fucking thing.
And it's free.
Yes.
Time and effort is time's not free, but effort is.
Yeah. There's a lot of hours in the day.
Yeah, and people were like, "How did you get 125 people in Townsville?" It's like, "Oh, I drove there."
Yeah.
I
got there.
The first thing was I went there.
Yep.
And that's the part that didn't cost me anything outside of the fuel and the time and the effort. They're like, "Yeah, but wasn't it like a 15-hour drive?" I was like, "No, it was a 15-hour think."
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what I was willing to put in I would put in 30 hours.
Yeah.
If someone had told me beforehand that there was the biggest gig you've ever done before was at the end of it, you would have drove 60 hours.
Yes.
But the fact that I was willing to do it before I knew the result,
Yeah.
it's the only thing that separates everyone from anything.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is a great way to look at it too. You just gotta do it. And that I was gonna say this. You are one of the other people that I really know that is like, you haven't been doing comedy that long,
7 years.
which isn't the grand. Like that's not long. That's not even like to be doing what you're doing now. To be making a living from comedy, solely from comedy, is pretty incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I'd really like to go further. Yeah, I'd like to go further.
Yeah.
And there are more things I want to do. I really hope I'm at chapter 3 of 20. I don't know if that's the case. Everyone's got a plateau at some point.
For sure.
And I hope I'm not here. But at the end of the day, going back to that guy who wrote in his book, if we can do 50 people anywhere, I'd be happy forever. I think if this is where it's plateaus, then cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good life. I mean, I drove all that way because I really like doing this.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me recently, they're like, did you burn out? I said, no, burnout comes from a prolonged period of time of stress. I had a prolonged period of time of having a great time and doing what I loved. And I'm just going to try. Well, I just want to satiate that feeling, bro, because it's just so free at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not paying
awesome.
anything to do something I don't want to do. All I'm doing is just doing what I want to do. And
Is this the first time you're doing a job that you loved?
I reckon, yeah. Oh, when I was 15, I had a job as a jet ski hire dude, putting on life jackets to people. I just fitted them life jackets, and I thought at the time I wore boardies and zinc, and I just thought this is the best ever. Is this work?
Yeah, I was just thinking in that moment, you are one of the rare people that has got paid to shit on the floor.
Yeah, outside of prostitutes and stuff. Yeah.
And then make some other fucking dillweed
fucking Nimrod. What did you call them earlier?
Nimrod. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm happy, and I just look forward to trying to push it further along. And we've been chatting about ways to do that, and I like trying to figure out the game as well.
You are very good at that. I've had a few people comment, like my friends, being in like other countries and stuff, and they're like, you should really keep that guy close to him, 'cause he's going somewhere. And they're not being facetious or anything like that. They're just like, he seems to think outside the box in a very, very smart way. And
I spent a lot of time on the thinking.
Yeah.
So I really, last thing I'm going to say before this, I try, one of the quotes that has captivated me my entire life is that somebody asked Albert Einstein, they said, if you had an hour to solve a problem, how would you go about it? He said, I would spend 55 minutes thinking about it.
Yeah, okay.
And then 5 minutes solving it. And I do a lot of that.
Yeah.
This tour was 3 months of shower thinking.
Yeah.
Content, put a lot of thought into it. Thinking about what people want. People thinking about what I watch and why I watch it and why I like it and what made it captivating. and then just applying that stuff. I mean, you're given eyes and ears. I think you just use that with your brain, and then the rest is limitless, right?
Yeah, I think that's fucking a great way to look at it.
Have a think and then do it, and don't be afraid to fucking bomb.
Yeah, that is it. Just do it. Is the main thing. Nike.
Just do it.
Sponsor us. Fucks. Anyway, if you don't, Adidas #1.
Hey, Puma.
Yeah. That's it for this episode. Jarryd, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, as always.
Yeah, I hope to have you. Yeah, have a lull like over Christmas. What's
Me?
the go? Yeah, what do you do?
I'm actually taking from the mid-December off to January.
Yeah.
And then I'm going
you're
on
into like fucking fringe festivals and fucking
back
everything,
into the
yeah?
festival, which I just love. I just love that period of time. It's
So-
so exciting to be around everyone else that's doing it at the best, like to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Really charges me up for the rest of the year. Going to Adelaide, going to Melbourne Comedy Festival, going
Perth?
everywhere. I'm going to Perth, but I'm only doing one show because I've got this family reunion, long story short.
Yeah.
But I'll be doing spots and stuff there. But yeah, in the January, I'm just going to go on a content making binge.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to really think about what 2024 looks like.
Yeah.
I won't say anything here, but I'm going to try and push into some new realms and try have the same success that I've emulated in the past in other areas.
Okay.
I became a content creator by mistake,
Yeah.
and now I'm going to try and make that step in towards being a content creator.
It sounds like you were like, I didn't mean to do OnlyFans, but it just happened.
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I've thought about it a lot.
Comedy
but
OnlyFans.
yeah, I had my first request.
You want to hear this punchline?
Hey,
Huh? Fucking slut.
on that, someone sent me a message on TikTok recently, and they said, "How much would it take to have a night in a hotel with you?" And I was like,
Dude, woman,
the name had like an ambiguous name,
even better.
and I was like, "Is this my first sexual advance from being a comedian?" Well, we're on here, so who knows?
That's a fucking... Tune in next week.
Sky's the
Fucking
limit.
When he's got AIDS from someone.
Tune in next week when he's got AIDS.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, plugs before you go.
No, don't plug me in. If you just follow me.
Jarryd Goundrey.
If you follow anyone that you like too, this is my hot tip, right? Tait, you like Tait, he's your friend, you like what he does. Support them with your thumb. This is my hot tip for anyone. If you have a friend who started a small business and you don't even go there, it's in another state, they put up a post and the post is shit because they're in the first 3 months of their journey.
Yeah.
Hit like. It helps more people see what they do and gets to the people that are actually going to be there. Do that with me if you want. If you don't, then unfollow me and fuck off. Because if you can't support people, just fuck right off. Yeah.
Fair enough. Ladies and gents, that's the first episode in the new studio. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Also, you need to give this place a name. So maybe anyone listening, suggestions? Because, like the mothership is like Rogan's. Is that what that was called originally? And that's why the name went to the comedy club. But the studio needs to have a name. So thoughts from the audience. That's what I reckon.
Yeah. Send us in your best name. And if it's shit, I'm not going to use it. And if it's great, I'll pretend I come up with it. So
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.